I'm here at COP27 in Sharm el-Sheikh, Egypt, with our friend and partner, Yvonne Aki-Sawyerr, the mayor of Freetown, Sierra Leone. And I am excited to ask a few questions about how the agenda for transforming Freetown and making Freetown the tree town, how does it show up at COP, and what happens for you here?
Thanks so much, Kathy, and thank you for being such an amazing partner. As you said, Freetown the tree town, being part of the cool capital stack, these are really important elements of our interventions in respect to climate change. So obviously COP is a natural place to be. And for me, people will say 2 weeks, what you get out of it? Another platform, an important platform to tell our story, to raise the biggest issues which are impacting us. So I think most people should know by now that countries like mine, cities like mine, are minuscule when it comes to contributing to climate change.
Yes.
But we are disproportionately affected by the impacts. And how do you fix that? Freetown the tree town, planting 1 million trees, making sure we grow those trees, which means creating jobs in monitoring, getting community engaged, actually reduces landslides, mudslides, protects water, all that good stuff. But we need money. And there hasn't been enough of it. So we're making tremendous progress. By December, we'll be at 800,000 out of 1 million trees. But the rate of deforestation is so fast that we need to be ahead of the game. That means investment in alternative fuel sources, but also investment in things like the cable car system, which is a way of us addressing the impact, not so much from emissions, of course emissions is part of it, but the impact on health of the polluting, low capacity public transport we currently have. It's a $35 million ticket to do the phase 1 of the line, the first line, but it's taken us 3 years just to work on the feasibility. So for me, what COP is about reinforcing, saying again and again and again, that we need to act together. We need to break the barriers. Cities need to be involved. Cities need to be at the heart of this because we're dealing with the day-to-day. But the biggest question is making sure the money flows, turning those commitments to disbursement.
Yes, yes, I love that phrase. So one of the things that we love so much about our work with you and Eugenia Cargbo, the Chief Heat Officer,
Absolutely.
who is now one of Time's 100 next leaders in the world.
Congratulations.
Which is just so gratifying.
To us all, and especially to her.
Oh my goodness. Is the way that this extreme heat and climate impacts affect women and girls. And we know that 80% of the people displaced by climate change are women. And so how does extreme heat show up in Freetown? And we're working on an exciting project that's just getting started in terms of our ability to measure its effects, but the excitement is there with your with residents. So tell me about the project.
Right, so like you say, having Eugenia has been a game changer when it comes to heat because we've had the focus, we've had the capacity, the bandwidth to look, engage residents, and come up with practical solutions. We have over 60% of our female residents who are traders. You know, they're working, they're selling in markets. Most of those markets are outdoor markets, which means in our context, you're sitting out of the sun from dawn to dusk. And in that extreme heat, with limited access to water, with limited mobility, it really is a negative, has a negative impact on health. So very practical, simple solution. The idea would be to build huge markets and have the women indoors and to have that natural cooling. Yeah. But that's not feasible because we don't have the money for that. Right. We're working with Arsht-Rock and we've got 3 markets which are now benefiting from market shade covers. It's such a simple concept. It's a canopy or in a metal frame, but it's heat resistance material. It also provides protection from the rain in the rainy season. It's got under the surface or under the shade solar light, so the women are able to work longer and you know, because most of them are going to be out there in the night anyway, so they just don't have that protection that the light gives. Right. Absolutely. Right. So that's a really practical example of how we're addressing the challenges of extreme heat. It's fantastic. been such a boost to the residents. Really so exciting to see the women's response as the structures were going up.
And didn't they help design?
They did.
Place them?
They
And so
did.
They were a big part of the process.
They absolutely did. And there were big conversations because, as you can imagine, because it doesn't go everywhere, deciding where it goes. But they got there. And one of the things which has been most energizing for me and gratifying is to hear market women say, okay, we know you have to stop here, but how much does this cost? Because we're willing to put money together to extend it. And we're having that conversation with the women in the Congo market. And I'm looking forward to having that elsewhere. But what would be great would be to take that burden off of them.
Yes.
Because
and this is a cool capital stack.
And that's why we're here, talking about how we can get the funding to be able to roll these out, to go to scale, to take these good ideas, these initiatives that are working well, and actually take them to scale.
And when you have solar power, which could power refrigeration, then the fruits and vegetables that are often the product that the women are selling last longer, and that means more money. And so that may mean more bank accounts and more independence.
And let me tell you about something that we are doing, working with another partner, which is using our organic waste, converting it into energy.
Wow.
So we've got one biodigester that's been piloted, but we're expecting by February to have 3 more. And that could power refrigeration. So again, it's the interplay between improving sanitation, increasing energy, and at the same time providing cooling.
So you're here at COP, you're here for 2 weeks, and you've got meetings with lots of funders and partners. And so when you go home, what will be a big win for you? Tell me what's a big win.
So I'm only here for 3 days.
Oh my gosh, of course.
And they're really tight days.
Yeah.
But the big win, and you guessed it, is capital.
Yes.
It's getting those investments.
Yeah.
And really, I think it's going to be on 2 levels. One is there's got to be more of a discourse. The words are being said, loss and damage, finance for adaptation. But these words have been said for years and we're not seeing it. This is the cup of implementation. We need to see that implementation. A big win for me would be to see coming out of those negotiations stronger commitments, real commitments with accountability.
And disbursement.
Accountability, because when you commit, you must disperse. Accountability for the promises as well as for the actions.
Thank you very much. Well, thank you for being our partner. Thank you for taking a minute here. And it's just the beginning for us. I know we're going to do.
And huge thank you to you, Kathy, and to all of Arsht-Rock. We are so grateful to have you as our partners. This is really making a real difference, and that's important.
Thank you. The feeling is mutual. Thank you very much.
Great.
Thanks.